Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boils and goyles. It's Elliot. Hi. I've recently had some engagement on my community comments. What's up? And because it's been few and far between, when in between I love yous or I love you, I wanted to connect uh, in the way that I've been connecting with, believe it or not, multidimensional aspects of ourselves in integration with uh, digital technology, internet technology. Uh, you can say gravitational waves, you can say scalar waves. There's lots of ways of interpreting energy in continuance. And to be frank, the state of affairs of the world right now as a common collective in my frame of reference is anything but the common collective. I've personally been removed from what might be called the mainstream. It's really not the mainstream. It is a caricature of what like the ocean would be if a stream is a mainstream. And it's my understanding that the fear or wonder or worry about what's going on in the world right now is just it's weak. It lacks uh, potence, it lacks impression, it lacks the ability to reverberate. True story. So I find addressing it directly in such terms, not just, I don't want to say a waste of my time, it is an affront to my time. However, it's no less important because if you think something and I want to be connected with you, then it's important. So I'm going to try and address it in the manner by which I find interesting and still accurately applicable. Uh, applicably applied. Applicably applied? Curiously applied. I don't know, I can go on because I love words and the frames of the flames. Wop, 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 wop. I've been listening to a lot of my own music, which is what you just heard. Wop, 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 wop. It could be called light language. I like to think of it as my blood singing. This game is called GreedFall, and the scene before you and its name can be equal to its impression of what that is supposed to mean at all. But isn't it interesting? Because they mean something to you. GreedFall, the fall of greed, or is it the greed that is falling? Where do you think stories come from? Who do you think thought them? What decides a life is a life being lived while it's living? Who are the livid? All this and more has interesting answers to be explored in conjunction with a resident uh, speaker, listener, speaker, i.e., me and you. Conversation. But just like we can analog, and by that I mean dialogue, but also an analogous dialogue, prose to poetry. about any topic and use it as a use it as an analogy to something going on in our world, something going on in personally, socially, familially, ancestrally, historically, blah blah blah. Parallels of understanding. Why was that a cultural phenomenon? The wah and the za and the ah and the boo. What if we, in the future and the past, have revered sound in all its forms because we saw it no less distinct than the visual and the felt and the livid and the non-livid or the unlivid and all those other opportunities? Well then, me playing a video game where I may or may not speak that much, depending on how we engage, about Fall of Greed or GreedFall, where it self-explains, but it's very much expressed and understood only in the terms of our own interpretation, because isn't it interesting that you can join me on this adventure, right? You're not watching me play a game any more than you're watching actors play a game on a television show where they're playing characters and there's scripts and you are acting it out, but neurochemically in your mind, which is a collective mind. What, did he just say that? Yeah, only because I love to jiggle your bits, get you scared about things that aren't scary if you approach them, like collective thought and AI and who's really in control. I don't know. But I hope that was a preview promo for what I'm trying to, one of the directions I'm going with in connecting with my peeps, because quite simply, we all deserve to be playing more games and play them together. That's my orange drink. Because it's like orange juice, but it's not real orange juice. It's just packed with vitamin C. Alright, let's see what happens. If you're new to gaming, then in this most modern contemporary to 2021 age, this is often the way they start is calibration. Let that make sense. Let that mean something more than an individual setting just the it's like the settings for, I don't know, visual acuity that makes no difference. Like, look at the symbolism behind clearly visible, visible, and barely visible. What are your relationships with that? Right? If you like to see everything, is your barely visible, that's barely visible? I wonder what your settings are on your screen. Is that barely visible? Is that barely visible? Is that barely visible? And this has a lot to do with my work and my teachings. I want to say psycho naturally, but your eyes and my eyes are most certainly discerning visible darkness differently, and depending on the screen, because your brain makes a distinction between what it thinks is bright and not bright, dim, dark, half lit or not, on a screen before you, versus, in contrast, the dim, dark light, half-light of the room that you are standing in. And then there's all your imaginary darkness and your imaginary light. All of this from the screen. Is it a reach? Is it a stretch? No, this is literally the work. And I find it interesting. Because it's eye-opening. It's enriching. It's ha-ha-ing. It actually, by being curious thought, it concludes things, because all I've shared with you are thoughts I've had before, so I can share them with distinction and still make honest inquiries while I'm having them with you, right? Like, I'm still wondering and answering the questions with you in one or another, but I have a strong opinion about all of these things because I was curious and I looked into them, and we can share that curiosity and the conclusions they make. Because look at the world. Are you scared? Are you so this broadcast, that broadcast, the economy or the health? Or it's 2021, but I don't want to date the narrative, because what I speak into the world has power, and what's clearly visible to me might be barely visible to you, or just visible to you, and vice versa. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is not healthy when, you know, we're having such intermittent meetings. So funny. Okay. It's a little loud in my ear. That was the first time through. I typically go into the options, but I'm going to forego that for now. It's not my style to forego the options. Game control, I like a game. Difficulty, I've been playing games on easy recently, as a wonderfully glorious experience. I'm just going to leave it at default, but I can address my sensitive hearing here. Or I'll turn down the music, keep the dialogue, up in reference just to the effects. Gives the dialogue a little bit of jump to me, even though it's going to be the same. Even though it's not going to be raised in volume, because the effects and the music have lowered in reference to those two, like, audio streams. The dialogue will have emphasis. This is literally me teaching you, if you so choose to listen, about the opportunities of aligning your perception with your perspective, regardless of regardless of existential context that does not apply, that need not apply in the moment. Holla holla back at you, boy. So let's continue. Let's go 15 minutes in, and we're starting the game. But I wanted to give a little bit, it's the perfect intro to, because maybe you're like, oh my god, he's playing a game and it scares me, and then I'm like, well, where's the old me might make fun of you. And I mean that in the most humble and like, I'm sorry kind of way. really. Instead, I'm trying to reach you. Just be like, well, here's 15 minutes of the way I used to kind of do it, but differently. Hi, my name is Elliot, and I still love you. This is what I was saying. So, standard gaming is I have no idea. I have no idea what most people do when they play these games. And by these games, I mean all games. Back in the day, you'd have easy normal, maybe easy normal hard. But back in the day, I mean like NES. No, not even SNES, because before that, they were just the game, right? And then difficulty levels, and then easy, normal, hard, extreme. And all of these I've ever done is maybe, or rather what I'm learning because I've been playing the game on easy, which is, believe it or not, I haven't played games on easy since I was actually a kid. And for that, I don't remember playing for very long. It's, they're totally different games. They're just totally different games. Just in like they're totally different schemas of playstyle. Restrictive in their limitations, and so restricting in their approach. So I'm just going to read a little bit. Okay, and this is pretty standard too. You'll have to optimize your skills and equipment, use crafting, and plan your battles carefully. Alright. Companions are stronger, as enemies are weaker, less aggressive. It's perfect for players who wish to experience the adventure without spending too much time on strategy or crafting. This actually sounds really great to me. Enemies are more numerous, more aggressive, and they inflict more damage. That actually sounds great to me, but I've learned that it's just as much fun them not being so. It depends on the gameplay, but anyways, I'll talk to you more about that as we go, if we do. Of the repo system. So already they're like, well, if a system in the game. I was playing for a little while where I was just playing all games on hard or even extreme, where I was just like, if I'm gonna play it, I might as well play it on the hardest. Oh man, like and that's been its own like awesome reward. But you know what? Today we're going easy because easy is the name of the game that I'm playing these days. Easy. Easy. Yeah. You too? Makes sense.
Could you stand a little taller, just a tad?
Oh,
Like
okay.
this.
All right.
Yes, yes.
What's that?
The chin a tiny bit lower. Gaze a little more to the right. There. Now, hold the pose.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes I like to spend a lot of time, but I'm in the mood of allowing for random. Should they look like you? Common. But what do you look like? How interesting. Pick your starting skills according to your playstyle. The skill tree is open. You will be able to unlock the skills of other archetypes as you progress. If I may speak interdimensionally. Oh, I may not. But how do you interact with the world? Are you the painter? Are you the painted? Are you the magic, the technical, or the warrior? One-handed heavy weapons, one-handed blades, firearms. Recommended attributes, strength and endurance. Recommended talents, which is basically like coinage in a genetic way. Genetic? Passion? We're just talking. Craftsmanship and vigor. Whew. Now, in my life, as I don't know, the player playing Elliot, playing whatever I'm playing. I'm intuitively like. There's a reason I didn't dwell on the magic, and we're talking to you about that. I was brought here by myself because it's kind of where I love magic. I love technical. I feel like even the very emblem, the standard of the warrior, is where I'm at, and focusing on melee combat has just been my bee's knees. But for frame of reference, controlling the battlefield. Spells from a distance. Magic rings, stasis, one-handed heavy weapons. One-handed heavy weapons, one-handed blades. Firearms, one-handed blades, elemental traps. Accuracy, agility, mental power, willpower, science, and intuition. Now that's cool, but that's me all day. Whereas science and lockpicking, that's me all night. I love the idea of these things. Whereas craftsmanship and vigor are where I, as a human, want to improve my self-awareness and my practice. This is the direction I want to evolve and kind of be into. That I'm not quite yet. Add it to the repertoire of my skills because it feels like it's not a brand new. Lord knows I am a warrior. But to give this section, this pie slice, its own pie, some emphasis in my life, it's helpful for me to be like, okay, cool, I'm playing this game and these are the starting skills. And craftsmanship, I'm like, yeah, man, that has to do with crafting stories, crafting robots, I'm just playing around with electronics, crafting pictures, painting, and a little less like science, a little less intuition, where I'm like, oh, no more science, no more intuition. Well, I do want these things, but they're more like collaborative things. It's where, or whatever the next evolution is, or collaborative or not. And the tree is open. Vigor. I just want that back too. Because it's been a long trial of delving in the magic, delving in the technical in my own life, and the science and intuition and the lock picking, which is kind of like almost like puzzle cracking, in a way, right? The accuracy, the agility, the mental power, the willpower. These things for me are like sapped, you know. Whereas strength and endurance, which for a long time have been my kind of forte, I let fall to the wayside because they were like my reserve. It was my energy to fuel this great leap, I would say, in exploring accuracy and agility, mental power and willpower in my own life, science and intuition. And I'm looking at this magic, I'm like, yo, maybe I'm gonna do magic. I can't help it. I love magic. But I love warrioring too. I just wanted to offer that as like we're still here, we're still on the character creation screen. So even though I've made up on that rigmarole, this is like the process I might take actually with, even if I was doing a broadcast. So I want people to be like, you take a long time, not you, but anyone. If you take a long time, do these things. Just because a screen can be X'd through quickly doesn't mean that that's the way you do it. There was times where I might take this because it was a balance of this and that, but I'm gonna be a warrior. But my intuition keeps pulling me back towards magic. So I'm gonna be a warrior-minded mage. That's just that. Because I'm entering a phase of my life where also I'm not reinventing the wheel, as it were, but choosing to be like, you know what, I can be good with every character, but maybe let's keep being similar characters over and over and just be awesome at it. I don't know. But I'm strong and I'm magical. Pick an attribute to invest your first point according to your preferred playstyle. So here we are. Whereas I picked magic, I think I'm gonna go something in the strength character, I think. Increases the power of melee attacks, maximum life and balance. Oof. That sounds good. The power of all firearms and alchemical preparations. That sounds interesting. Oh, see, I was reading, so I didn't. So now I'm seeing. So now there's okay, cool. There's 6 attributes, which we went over, but I'm learning the trees. So this is the way that they'll go. These will all be strength. These will all be agility. Increases fury generation, all damage inflicted in melee combat. That seems helpful. I'm going to do that. Because to balance out my magic and my drive for strength, there's agility. Plus, as like a pro tip, as like a gamer, Fury Generation, throughout the game, it affects timing. So how much damage you do relative to your enemies, all that stuff is neither here nor there. It can change quite drastically, but it as a percentage of something, I don't know what it is, but Fury Generation, like if I don't take that and then I take it later, it changes more broadly what I expect from Fury Generation. And timing is something that you can never have enough of. I don't know. Don't think too hard. Think too much, but don't think too hard. Choose the talent which you wish best your starting point to progress your own way as you complete quests and explore the world. Charisma. I don't need any more charisma. Because I do. I can be obtuse. And I like improves your companions' combat abilities. Reduces merchant prices, always a good thing. But like really. Chance of success of some dialogue options. Those are always fun. Vigor. Pass through certain difficult passages that require balance. Huh. Increases the maximum ammo capacity and lets you slightly recover HP and magic outside combat. Huh. So, allowing for a little research there, but noticing how I feel as I go through each one. Craft, basically, I don't know, like, I'm working on craftsmanship. I feel like there was a time where I thought it was cool in games, and then it just got arduous, so we'll see. I'm always open for inspiration. Intuition. Gathering sites become easier to see. Slightly increase the number of ingredients and objects contained in gathering and looting. It's like my intuition is like, I give you no choice, you will pick me. Science allows you to make simple potions. Destroy weak walls with the help of explosive vials. Whew. Now, I'm not playing also in isolation. I'm like, there's been like an evolution of what it means to be in continuance of your own living and assisting your own multidimensional aspects of self, so that if I only play this game for right now and do this, it makes a difference what I'm intending. And the hobbies I'm looking to kind of maybe explore more of. And maybe it's going to be hard to craft things, but I can craft things in game, or bullets, complex potions. See, like, that stuff's cool. Contextual dialogue options. Doesn't that just sound sexy? Increases the number of ingredients obtained through recycling. I love that. Map discovery radius. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with intuition, because I'm strengthening who I am already. And all of these are relative. Like, I don't know, what was charisma? I like the improved combats, companions, but combat abilities, they're already badass. Also, I'm playing on easy, which is actually worth noting. I like balance, but I like my balance being challenged. Crafting. Potions, things like that. This provides me with a more interesting long-term like contextual dialogue options will not be experienced if I pick any one of these other ones. Same with entering through locked doors. My point is that there is no point except for all that I'm benefiting from. My own exploration of the opportunity of this moment. And there is times, modern to now, where we have booklets and frameworks of health, wealth, and success creation that are no less gimmicky or gamey. The words and the ingredients and the things that they use are manuals and certifications, and it's a whole other dialogue, but its own language, like legal anything, for instance, or banking anything, or it's its own game. A stockbroker, trader, might be said to learn lots of contextual skills, analysis, pattern recognition, social, I don't know, depends on what even that job is, but it's still just a game, and outside that game, those skills might be relatively useless or broadly applicable. So what I'm asserting is not new. That's really funny. Is that I like all of life's a game, and if that's troubling, then you can just pick your games in life and play them and let them mean something to you. Because I've asked myself questions about my goals, my relationship to intuition and contextual dialogue options. And these are the things that we want to make videos about. We can speak specifically about anything in conversation, but if we're going to speak about anything in conversation specifically to address the analogous everything, then might as well be talking about something cool. What's it? My name's Elliot. Let's start the game. Do I want to create this character? Yes.
Just a few more minutes. You have such an incredibly singular face.
Well, thank
That's
you.
a compliment, my lord, out of my mouth.
Oh, that's... How else would I take it? Wait,
Your
there's another way to take it?
particularity gives character.
Thank
You're
you.
still here?
We've nearly finished.
We've nearly finished.
Have you any more need of me, Master?
You haven't forgotten that we're setting sail
Nice
today,
stuff.
have you?
Of course not.
Of course not. Master's teacher.
Your cousin is nowhere to be found. I've searched the palace from cellars to attics.
Even the
Your
relationship
uncle
between
has
master and
beside
slave
himself.
is teacher-student.
He was of a mind to paint the town last night. Don't
Paint
worry,
the
I shall track him
town
down.
last
Make
night.
care to your own preparations without wrinkling another frown. We'll meet you on the boat.
It's about time your cousin took account of the responsibilities awaiting him. He should go and inform the ambassadors of Telemi and the Bridge Alliance of his departure.
Delamy.
Have no fear, Master. I will go and see them in his name. I beg your pardon, but urgent matters call me away. Might we finish all this later?
Impossible, my lord. You're leaving with the tide, if what I've been told is correct.
I am sorry, sir. Truly, I must be going.
My lord, please, I beg you. Her Highness personally requested I finish this.
Oh, thank you, cousin, for getting me out of that.
Palace. Go and say goodbye to your mother. My main quest and my side quest. I'm not gonna worry too much about look up there. It's helpful. Right now I'm playing like I'm in it. Speak to worker. Oh.
Sire, I'm sorry. I'm afraid that I won't make for good company.
Oh, I'm glad that I was saying hi. Oh, somebody's trying to like race me down the hall. Oh, that's fun. So I don't really know what I was supposed to be like. I'm not paying too much attention to the conversation that I just had. Oh, okay. Oh, what's up? Because
hey, green blood.
Cool. You just threw magic at me.
And so the day has finally come. My royal fledglings are
That is so cool.
Accompanied by their most loyal and tenacious master of arms.
As loyal as your goal.
Oh, enough with the cold mercenary. I know you like us. Still hiding your men in the unsuspecting shadows of the greats of this world, I see.
Hey, our blades are the only thing keeping you dainties alive.
Ha! Kurt, I'm not in need of your protection. I'm no longer a child, you know.
Is that so? Well, let's see. Fight with honor!
Attack 3 times. So that's square. I like to a little bit do it. I'm not supposed to. Because if I did, I'd just be playing a game, right? It's like, he's like, parry. I'm like, prove to Kurt that you can play. I love it. You have lost health. To assign a potion to a shortcut, use L1 to open the tactical pause. Tactical pause. That allows you to choose your next attacks at your leisure. Ooh. You will be able to access your spells, skills, and potions to use directly or assign them as a shortcut to use during combat. You will learn more about your enemies around you. So, tactical pause might allow me to string things together. Actions. Spell. Techniques. Potions. Change weapons. Ooh. Oh, it's asking me to assign. So bind, square. So I'm going to assign it to the right direct R2 right, because that's familiar to me. So I'm learning what dodge means. Whoa. owned me.
What a green blood. Me who thought myself a competent weapons master.
It's becoming a little hard to believe.
Don't add insult to injury. This is humiliating enough. We'll need to get you through the basics, or you risk getting your feathers plucked at the first sign of trouble.
Kurt,
could
you're
definitely
just
come in
so
handy.
badass, though.
In that case, Otto here is going to be your training partner.
Okay.
Go!
Thank you.
Fight with honor!
Alright. I don't feel so bad. You're really badass. Defeated light magic. You can use your shadow and light magic during your adventure. The stasis spell allows you to temporarily freeze an enemy. Spells use magic, shown by the blue meta in the top left. So, continuing at the opportunity, you can use shadow and light magic during your adventure. Don't we live in a world of shadow and light? How can I make that make sense in my life? Maybe how can I bring magic into my everyday life if I consider a stasis spell to temporarily freeze an enemy? That's a little extended, but why not? Because it's a frame of reference. Because in the game now, I'm going to have a spell that temporarily freezes an enemy that allows me to temporarily decide something while my perceived enemy is frozen in place. And that can be a task. It can be in the heat of a moment of an argument or conversation. But I don't need to think, stasis spell, how cool would that be if you could, and I did. Then you can also you're actually literally training, in a way, your avatar to get into moments depending on your playstyle. Playstyle is in, hi, my name is Elliot and I'm playing my life. And you're training this way of engaging with your world where you're like, boom, like, stasis, chill on that. Let me just think for a second. So let's open up the tactical pause and continue with the tutorial, because it's always good to learn. Like, you're stupid. Hi, my name's Elliot. Assign. If Shadow Missile, Stasis, Shadow Impact, I like R2 and X because it reminds me of other games and it's just intuitive. We're all just playing the game. So let's try that. Bind. Oh, I have to select. See? I have to. I didn't select stasis. There. See, it took me a few tries to actually do that. It's like not. At first, I blurped it, then I cast it, but I didn't assign it. Now, where else in my life, where am I doing it less obviously? Now, it's the key is to not what I'm expressing and explaining, as far as not just self-development, but I truly do mean living multidimensionally as a reality, and how you make the slow ascent, and ascent is just a direction, in that direction of your consciousness. It's layering the lessons, not repeating. So I'm familiar with my own encircling of like, oh, because we can give ourselves grace to not make mistakes, but to just go for it and then play along. So I find it personally interesting that I had an idea as to, like the R2X, I had an idea as to kind of what I was doing with the signing, but I'm learning this game's language. Or even if I may go even deeper to the interdimensional expression, I'm learning this game's speed. It's asking me or suggesting me to do things in this way. And for better or worse, it's a way. And guess who made this game? Source creation. So there's a reason that I'm here and I'm playing it. And that's no less valid than every other way we can express ourselves creatively. It's fascinating, the opportunity of life when we just talk about it. And let the answers fall where they may. So anyways is the ways. Let's do it again. Alright. What'd I do?
Come on, you chicken!
Who you calling chicken? Oh, that looks fun. I got stunned. So that's me learning status, the stat stasis. Didn't know I can cast it that soon. And learning the differences. It's fun. Because we all have our tools, and then we all have like our faculties. And our faculties are our tools, and our tools are our faculties. Physical armor is shown on his shields. Cool. It absorbs physical damage. Cool. Which means physical damage is a distinction. There must be some kind of other damage. Or there might be. Who knows? To break an enemy's armor, use impact weapons or certain traps. Magic attacks ignore armor. Lucky for me. Oh, I'm getting carried away with my badass self. I love to speak too soon. Fury is a state that allows you to use special attacks that inflict bonus damage and make enemies lose their balance. A segmented meter that fills up as you attack an enemy, cast a spell, or parry attacks from enemies will allow you to see your fury level. When the meter reaches the first level, a visual effect will appear on your character's hand. L2 press to use a fury attack. Oh, that was cool. Oh, sheathing. R1. I missed it because I'm a natural sheather.
And I'd like to be on my way. I've quite the list of things to do before we depart.
Holla back at your boy.
Remember that you can always train in our barracks on the island if you're feeling rusty.
Thanks,
Are your
guys.
bags packed for the great departure?
Yes.
The
You know
great
I get
departure.
by with very little.
Like an awakening?
You're not angry that I'm coming with you,
Like
I
a
hope.
journey? Are you kidding me, Kurt? Complain about being shadowed by a bodyguard. Show him how happy you are he's coming along. I can't help it.
I'm thrilled that both you and
I like him so far.
are joining our party. A few friends at your side in
Am I
unknown
playing
territory is a boon.
a character? Am I playing
So
myself
the
as
old
him?
goat is coming too.
Still to be determined.
And there I was thinking I
I'm
would
just
die of boredom
exploring
on
the
the
world.
trip. By
Look
the
at
way,
you.
where is our future governor hiding?
Future
I
golf
was
now?
hoping to put his skills to the test as well.
I wouldn't see
I have
my
no
scene.
idea. He had plans to celebrate his departure last night, and we haven't seen him since. You know Constantine. I should
Oh,
have gone with him, but my
Constantine.
heart wasn't in the mood for celebration. The
Constantine.
thought of bidding my mother farewell.
It is never easy to say goodbye. But you should be going to see her now. She must be waiting for you. I'll meet you in
Mother
front of the
boy.
palace. Then we'll go and find Constantine together.
Ideally,
I'll meet you as soon as I've said my goodbyes.
it's a rite of passage saying goodbye. As a wolf pack leaves one pack to roam the world, start another. And so now I can kind of use this legend up here to feign familiarity with my surroundings because, hi, my name's Elliot. I've never been here before, or have I? So instead of pretending like this is like, there's a W or an S, a compass inside my head, because, again, there might be. So cool. Excuse me, what's going on here? Little science. I would call that alchemy. So in this world, maybe science and alchemy are one. What's up?
What is this? Have you not been taught to knock? I've asked 1,000 times. Oh, it's you, my dear child.
Mother, I'm sorry. I'm having trouble getting used to your condition.
Come now, let's speak of more pleasant
Princess
things.
Lissade.
I'm so very happy to hear your voice. You remind me so much of your father. I do miss him so.
There's a bit.
Today is the big day, isn't it? Ready to set sail for that island everyone's talking about.
That's so different, right?
Yes, but the idea of leaving you behind, alone and ill.
Dying,
How
my
we're treating
child.
illness, dying,
Alas,
and death.
there is nothing you can do by staying that would ease my suffering. One thing brings me cheer. They say the island is full of miracles, and we might find a cure.
Even if I were to find it, I would never be able to return in time to...
I know. But it brings me comfort to know my son has left on a mission to heal his people.
Amen. Hold back.
Come now. It is time for you to take leave. Here. Take this with you.
What is it?
Token.
A family heirloom. Something that... Take it and keep it with you. May it bring you good luck. All my blessings go with you, my child. Now, be off.
I like what I just learned about myself. The way I let go of her hands emotionally, but then kissed her. Alright, I could assume it was because of the illness that I was uncomfortable holding her hand, but it was clearly something else. What? Are you kidding? That is the best hat ever. That's right. I noticed. I got a swag with that hat on. Well, swag. There's my swag on. My swag hat. What up? What up, scenery? Does my mind know the difference between seeing this before me on the screen or the screen of my mind? Can they equally be appreciated? No. Can something be appreciated more for being seen than being refused to be seen? Is there a parallel between this orange skittle sky and the light behind my head in portrait streaming? Coincidences are what artists call pretty things.
Oh, look at this world, it's full of squalor, yeah? Look at all these skid brooks and bricks and like fires everywhere. It's like, I never loved the bit of the brocade quarter. What's a quarter? What's a brocade?
Serene. Isn't it though? The judgments and assumptions we make. Mostly because I was using all those words to describe how maybe you might look outside right now and look and be like, oh, look at the world, it's so blah blah blah, but couldn't your street that your house has lived on be this magical as looked upon like it? And you had this hat? Oh yeah, it curls. What up, swag? What up, swag? What's up?
Kurt? It's done.
Sorry, Greenblood. Look, we can see the masts of the ship that'll be taking us. This is one sacred adventure we're embarking on.
I hope this island will keep its promises.
In order to know that, we'll need to find Constantine first.
You're right. Maybe he's already at the port. He was so eager to leave.
This will be quite the chore
Special
to
relevance.
finish before our departure. The commander wants to recover some merchandise from our supplier, but the transporter doesn't want to deliver.
Constantine,
I did all I could to
DC
persuade
magician,
him.
and now a
Nothing
mage.
came of it. All the parliamenting fatigues me.
Feel like I'm part of
This is your
Saint
domain.
Germain's lineage.
I wouldn't say no to a little help.
Of course. Where is the supplier?
In the lower boroughs, near the port.
Right then. We'll put it on our list of visits.
Team set up, companions on the team, 0 out of 1. Kurt, square as into the team is a merely common message, and you can wear heavy armors, got lots of health and end. Durance, more than strength, and almost agility. Relationship level suspicious, he's part of the Queen God, sending like special moves according to equipage. And that's all I know about Kurtage this time. So, relationship level suspicious. Here I am thinking this guy's like, I got a friendship with him or whatever, but maybe he just approaches everybody with a kind of suspiciousness. I'm learning something about Kurt. Who might that be in my life? That I'm thinking I'm on like, or further with me. Where there's suspicion and there isn't any. Or there's suspicion, or there is suspicion. Or there isn't suspicion and there is. It just makes it interesting because it's inconsequential. As we'll see, Kurt and I's relationship will depend on what Kurt and I get up to. Which is probably best just confirm the team and quit. Press follow.
Where would you like to begin?
I've been asked to pay visits to the ambassadors of Thélème and the Bridge Alliance before our departure. Their dwellings are not far from here. We could go there first.
Very well. Do you think Constantine will be waiting for us next to the ship?
I don't know, but it's certainly worthy of inspection.
That's awesome.
Greetings, Your Excellency.
I think that's going to be it for now. Because we've explored quite the range of opportunity. And at an hour and 6 minutes, I'm trying to keep a standard on what I am building as far as this show, really, and what I provide. In summary, we spoke about what's going on in the world today. I started with determining that it's more than just what we focus on determines our reality, but what we choose
I wish you a good day, Your Excellency.
to enact, which is maybe the next step to reacting. Reactions have got a bad rap, but when you're not reacting and you're refusing your chemical nature, when you're non-reactive, you're noble, like the gases, but inert. And so you pose an interesting way station as for information, but inert gases interact, if nobly then inertly, and nothing gets done without a little mischief. So that might be a bit of a fetch to conclude, drawing a parallel with a story and playing a role in a life and getting emotional by your choices.
So many dead people. Even if we did find an antidote to the Malicor.
There's so many dead people. Even if we did find an antidote to the virus, right? Find the parallels. Be like, well, what's important? What are we emphasizing? What are we focusing on to really intend our love to? And then where do we draw the lines of alive and unalive? Because when I speak to a noble,
Are you one of the prince's relatives?
I am, actually. Thank you for your presence. Of course, I am the prince, but they don't need to know that. I wasn't lying by saying it's a relative. And there's a voice actress behind this character. There's animators behind this. And there are realities happening now that are bobbing and weaving on the energies of how I choose to express my truth as a real person. So create the opportunities to vibrate emotionally however you see fit. And it's hard to conjure real circumstances if you can't take anything and make it everything when you know what you mean. Let's continue to explore the opportunity of learning and evolving and speaking to passers-by, or just bypassing, while moving into this very real, very palpable, very tangible re-immersion, I might say, in like the long view of consciousness as a living experience. With just enough Elliot so that when things don't make sense, that's where I know that you're getting it. Light language is really the sound. And the skill that I've been acquiring, refining, is that jibber jabber going on and on that when I'm listening to myself, and I'm like, I can't believe what am I even saying anymore. But I've met ones that have reminded me how important focusing on like the liquid sound of an expression is, where the context and specifics are no less important, but listening is a gift when I'm not separating the symbols of the language to just allow what's before the words to flow through me. And I've struggled with creating a channel where I'm mostly doing that because, to be honest, it's just too personal for me. But finding a way to weave my exactedness with which I can speak, because that's been easy, that's my whole life. These last few years have been in the splicing of interdimensional naturehood and learning to be abstract, to be a little out there, to be hard to understand, because I've lived my life under an experience of learning a concept of conciseness that's really calming. How do you close or begin any conversation with anyone where you remember where it started and you remember where it began? Better to be able to remember what was felt more than what was said, because you can always conjure your own symbols in your own language to mean what was meant and discern a shared meaning. So hi, my name is Elliot and welcome to my channel at the moment, where my point is to be an unobstructed view of that energetic flowing between me and you. Ha 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 ha. Lots of fun exploring. Thank you for joining me. It means friendship, and friendship means everything to me. And just in case you forgot, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. And night too. Namaste. Look at that hat!